Welcome to Moving Forward, sponsored by MPW Mocklink TV and Mocklink Internet, online at mpw.org. Each weekday morning, our local talk segment brings you the people who are helping move our community forward. Let's start the show.
Good morning, AM 860, FM 95.1, KWPC. I'm Jordan Davis. Thanks for joining us here this morning once again for Moving Forward. It's a Monday morning. It is October 22nd. Thanks so much for tuning in with us here for Moving Forward. Brought to you by Muscatine Power and Water. Mocklink Internet and TV are the best value in entertainment and connectivity, and getting better with world-class fiber. Subscribe now and you'll get fiber when it comes to your neighborhood. Learn more at mpw.org. Again, I'm Jordan Davis, and I have the pleasure of being joined in the studio this morning by one Mr. Patrick from Yacky Shack. How are you this morning, Patrick?
Pretty good, Jordan. Thanks for having me today.
We are really excited to have you in. One, because hands down, my favorite place to eat in Muscatine is definitely Yacky Shack. I absolutely love going over there. We've got some incredible restaurants in this area, but Yacky Shack's definitely the one that I'm going to come to for lunch. I can tell you that. That is, I love it. I love it. So let's talk about a little bit about who you are and what you do. Can you just tell us first, Yacky Shack? Everybody knows it.
Yeah, definitely. So we're Korean Fusion. We're over on Colorado Street, right across from the college. This is actually, we're starting our 9th year in business, so at the end of October we'll hit our anniversary date. We've been at our current location for 5 years. Started out on 2nd Street just kind of as a little mom and pop, and have grown into what we do now. Do a lot of catering, a lot of dining, and tons of deliveries and takeouts for Muscatine. So Muscatine's been really, really good to us.
And you said you started down on 2nd Street. That was your mom, Sonny, correct?
Yep. Sony did 2nd Street for, it was about 2 years, and then we decided that the business was going to work out well, and we might as well just build our own building. So it took us a little while to get the building built, but yeah, we've been at our new location for 5 years now. So,
and it's a great spot over there on Colorado Street because one, you're right on Park Avenue, so I'm sure you guys, as much delivery as I know that you do, that's probably a good location, kind of deploy right out into the middle of it all.
Center of the town, I guess. So yeah,
that's awesome.
It's we like being across the park from the park just because I mean people go there and come right over to Yacky Shack afterwards, so it works out well.
Awesome. And Yacky Shack is just it's just a great little place to come and sit down and have lunch. I'm sure you guys have a lot of folks coming through. I mean, a lot of folks are coming through just for lunch in general.
Yeah, we have a really, really big lunch crowd over there. I guess we're kind of known for, we call our service fast casual. Everything's cooked fresh, but we don't do like your typical wait staff, and I'm sure a lot of people know that. You order at the counter, you seat yourselves, we cook everything fresh and then bring it right out. And I think that's why our lunches are so busy, because we get people in and out.
Absolutely.
And then we have a tremendous amount of deliveries too, so we do a lot of stuff to Han, like Han, GPC, Monsanto, like all those guys are huge supporters, so we appreciate it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you mentioned, let's talk a little bit about your hiring. You guys do something a little bit special, so why don't you walk us through that? Yeah,
definitely. So we go about hiring in the typical manner, but we also we work a lot with Goodwill Employment Services, and what that is Goodwill Employment Services. Goodwill is a store that you go. It's a resale store for used stuff, but on top of that, they also do things for people with intellectual disabilities. They find placement for them. They provide on-site job coaching. So it's a really great thing, and on top of that, I guess they help people find jobs that have any sort of social boundary. So I know Goodwill of the Heartland has a career center now. So, Jordan, if you're looking for a job tomorrow, which probably isn't going to happen, you'd just go out to Goodwill Employment Services to the career center, and they would try to help you find some placement, give you some training on how to fill out like a resume, an application, going through the interview process.
And that's a big deal, because I think that's one huge barrier for people is they don't know what a resume looks like. Not everybody.
Exactly.
That's one thing that I think, and some places will, some places won't. But like in school, that needs to be something that people focus on. Hey, how do you build a resume? Because they don't even know what it looks like.
Yeah, and it's and if you don't know how to do that, like I said, the career centers, they're super great at providing assistance and. Providing assistance for someone like myself. I want to go and apply for a job, but I don't know what to put down to make myself look really employable. And
right.
They help. But I guess back to the placement with Goodwill, with people with intellectual disabilities. For someone like that, it may be a little bit harder for them to go out and interview for a job and get the correct placement. But what Goodwill does is, we contact them and tell them what jobs we have available, and they try to find a good candidate, bring them in, give them some training, and it usually works out very, very well. We have, I don't want to single anybody out, but we have some custodial work that happens at Yacky Shack. We have catering that people do. We have front end staff that take orders, phone calls, take food out, and like I said, I don't want to single anybody out, but those are all people that have been placed at our restaurant from Goodwill Employment Services, and
wow.
It's worked out very well. And I guess the reason why I want to get this out there is because there's other employers around town that I know have a need for good employees, and Goodwill Employment Services is a great place to get those employees. So I mean, that's basically the gist of it.
Mm-hmm. And your staff there is always lovely. I mean, they're always kind. They're always quick. Yeah. That's one thing I love when I go somewhere is they're moving fast. Whether it's to just I'm trying to think. Oh, every time I go, I always ask, can I get a bottle of house sauce as well when I sit
right
down?
Out on the table right away.
Instantly.
And see, that's the other thing too is one of our front end staff. It's really hard to come in. As myself and be in a bad mood and be in a foul mood and say, I can't do this today, or my job's really hard, when I've got, so-and-so up front that has, something that might be hindering them from their job, but they're doing an amazing job at it, and they're doing really, really good. So it motivates me, I guess.
And oftentimes with a smile on their face too.
Absolutely. And it's really hard to be it's really hard to not have a can-do attitude around people like that. And I mean, one of our front end staff has been with us for 5 years, never missed a day. The only day that she's missed is we had to send her home because she came into work sick. It's, some of our employees, they work 20 hours a week, 40 hours a week, but the 20 or 40 hours that they give us, obviously they get something out of that. The job's important to them. They like coming there. They get paid for it. But I think in the end, I really get more out of it than they do. Our other employees get more out of it than they do. It's just a really great thing, and I wish that more employers in the city of Muscatine would look at this outlet for employing people. It's a great opportunity, and I think it's a missed opportunity if people don't take advantage of it.
Right, and I've spoken with some folks on exactly that, is that not everybody's capable of the super high level jobs, but a lot of folks are really capable at those mid-level jobs where they are, even if it's dealing with folks or it's taking orders, wait staff, stuff like that. There's no reason why they would not be perfectly capable of that. Just a little bit of job coaching, and I'm sure just some little maybe not even more time spent with them just on that walking through process. But it's still they're still certainly capable.
Yeah. I will put it this way: I have not had to do one thing above and beyond what I do with other employees to employ people from that have intellectual disabilities. There's absolutely nothing that I've had to do. If anything, I would say that type of employee is a lot more dependable, and they work really, really hard because they're happy to have the chance. And the thing that we enjoy doing the most, you mentioned that, not everyone can perform at a super high level. I guess I don't really look at it that way because we can find a good fit for anybody. There's always, whether you're washing dishes or taking the phone call that's the order, like all those things are super important in our restaurant. And, people own that when they come there and work, and it's, they definitely get something out of it.
Awesome.
And I think the other thing that's kind of tied in with our Goodwill Employment Services that my wife Shannon is more involved in is Special Olympics. And those kind of things go kind of hand in hand. I know Jason Miller over at the YMCA is the one that heads Muscatine Special Olympics. And a lot of their athletes there are also employees throughout town. So that community in itself is kind of really closely knit, and I just know that they really need the support of Muscatine. So it'd be really great. I guess why I'm on here today is I really want to challenge other employers throughout Muscatine to reach out to Goodwill Employment Services, see what type of employees are there, and see what kind of placement you have for them. And on top of that, I know there's another organization in Muscatine called Crossroads that does a lot with people with intellectual disabilities. That is another organization that I would love for people to reach out to. They're always looking for volunteers. They're always looking for great people to get involved in that. And I think Muscatine's full of those types of people, and I really want to challenge people to get out there and get involved and do stuff in the community. So
absolutely, and a big shout out to Special Olympics. They do great
Definitely.
work. They're incredible, and they had an awesome weekend on Friday with Over the Edge, because it was an incredible event. Lots of people showed up, and they raised an insane amount of money.
Over $100,000, man.
It's got, and I wish I had the exact number. I said we'd be talking about it, and I haven't heard exactly that number. It's probably on Facebook, and I just haven't seen it yet.
It's huge. That's all we know.
Yeah, it's huge. It is huge, and that's really cool. So that's going towards Special Olympics, Big Brothers Big Sisters, and a couple others.
I think Hy-Vee was like a really big part of that. Actually, I think Hy-Vee was probably the ones that got the conversation started. I think I don't know the gentleman's name, but one of the top management at Hy-Vee was like, hey, this other people have done it in their cities, let's do it here. So I think they were the ones that really made it happen, along with everyone else. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, and it was a cool event. It was really good. Our very own GM Jamie, he went over the edge on.
How'd he do, man?
He actually did. He did awesome. He was I think I was more nervous for him than he was nervous going down. I was. He was nervous as steels up there, and I was standing over at the edge. I luckily I didn't have to. They didn't harness me up or anything like that. I was standing over by the door, just at the entrance of the to the roof, just watching them.
With one hand on the railing.
Yeah. Our guy Alex, he actually was all hooked up running the camera. Our awesome camera guy. They had him all harnessed with a helmet on. He was out there, and they had to hook his camera to him since he was kind of right at the edge there. So if anything were to fall off or anything like that, but. It was a really cool event. Yeah,
it'd be nice. Muscatine, speaking of that event, I think the firefighters game just happened with Special Olympics, and that's something that's really, really cool. I know Mr. Hoppy from the firefighters. He's always super involved in that, and he's a great guy. But doing Yacky Shack and working with Goodwill and Special Olympics, it's definitely very fulfilling for us. It's something that's super important to us. And I just want to reiterate again, I challenge other employers across Muscatine to go ahead and reach out to these people, because I think you'll be very, very surprised on the types of employees that you can find and the types of personalities and great attitudes that people can bring into the workplaces. So,
and you say it's fulfilling, and you say it's something that it's passion for you. Yeah, so can you tell us kind of why?
Well, it's fulfilling because for myself, I feel like it's not charity work. I want to get that really across the board. That this is not a charity thing where it's like, oh, so-and-so can't find a job, so I'm going to give them one out of the goodness. That's not what this is. This is just recognizing that people have skill sets, whether it's blatantly obvious that, hey, so-and-so's really, really good. They have an awesome personality. They're a great worker. Some people have stuff that you just have to discover, and you have to coach them on, and you have to let that develop, and that's why we're so passionate about it, because it's taking someone that does it, that has the core things that make a good worker, and bringing those out in them. And if they don't have the chance to do that, then it's never going to happen. And I think it's just giving someone the chance to do something and watching it, blossom into something good is what's so rewarding to us. And it's not charity. I want to get that across the board.
Right. You want to give them an equal chance, just the same as anybody else.
It's good for us, and it's good for them. We look at, and that's the other thing that's involved in this is, I don't want to single anybody out. And the biggest thing with Special Olympics and employment services is they are just like everyone else. They're no different from anybody else, and that's the thing that's really the big point that I'm trying to get across, because I don't label myself as I'm Patrick from Yacky Shack. I don't label myself as I'm a video game fanatic, or I don't identify with that one thing. And that's the one thing that I'd like people to know about people with intellectual disabilities is don't label them, don't single them out. That's just one aspect about who that one person is. They're also I'll use Kim, for example, our front. She's one of our best employees, and I'm sure she won't mind that I single her out. But Kim loves animals. Kim is a huge cat person. She likes anime. She likes video games. That's how I identify Kim. That's kind of why we're so passionate about this. It's just equal opportunities for everyone, basically.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
that's really incredible, Patrick.
Thanks,
man. That's just a cool message.
Well, it's, that's a core belief of my wife, too. My wife started out as a social worker. She worked for Goodwill Employment Services, placing people in jobs. So it's super important to her, and she's seen both sides of it as an employer and as a job placement specialist, and it's definitely a really neat thing. And I'm going to say this one more time.
Go for it.
I challenge every employer in Muscatine to contact Goodwill Employment Services and see what type of awesome employees you can get into your workplace.
See if there's going to be a fit for somebody.
I guarantee there's going to be a fit. It's just you need to work a little bit to find it, but once you find it, it'll be awesome.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Patrick, for coming in and talking to us. And,
I appreciate your time, man.
And,
Thanks for having me on.
I couldn't believe that you didn't walk in with a bunch of plates of fried rice or anything like that.
A little too early for that. Maybe this afternoon.
Maybe this afternoon. Awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks so much, Patrick. It's been a real pleasure having you on this morning.
Thank you, Jordan.
And that's Patrick from Yacky Shack. I'm sure you know him and you know Yacky Shack. Be sure to give him a look if you're looking for a good lunch sometime, too. So be sure to head out there as well. Thanks so much for joining us here for Moving Forward, brought to you by Muscatine Power and Water. Say hello to Mocklink Phone, your new local phone company. Fiber customers, get it now. Switching is easy, and you can keep your old number. Learn more at mpw.org. Again, I'm Jordan Davis. Thanks for joining us here for Moving Forward on this Monday here on the voiceofmuscatine.com.
This has been Moving Forward on KWPC AM 860 FM 95.1, the voice of Muscatine. Moving Forward is brought to you by MPW Digital TV and Mocklink Internet, a designated Blue Zones worksite. Browse to mpw.org. And remember, Moving Forward, local guests making good things happen in the community. Weekdays at 8:15.